Welcome to Behold. I'm Beth Whitney, and today with my co-host Craig Hardinger, we are going to talk about the body and why it matters and why we as Christians should care about our physical health and well-being. And we have an awesome special guest today, Taylor Clifton. She is the executive director of Norte Club, which is a ministry and part of Arcade Church. So stick around, and here we go.
How you doing, Beth?
I'm great. How
Good.
are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. You're itching to talk about what we're going to talk about right now, right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. You've got the floor.
So I was a high school basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
My parents had season tickets to the Sacramento Monarchs. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
They're the only Sacramento team to win a championship, and we were there.
Really?
So super cool,
That's
right?
kind of cool.
I
They
know
played in Arco?
They played at Arco Arena,
Yeah.
and the Monarchs kind of a play off the Kings, right?
yeah.
A women's team. But women's basketball is buzzing right now,
It's
mostly
huge. It is huge.
because of Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Right? She is this incredible basketball player and just kind of does it without a chip on her shoulder, without an ego. But man, that girl can shoot. Have you watched any of these baskets she's made?
I was talking to you, I think it's when March Madness first started, and I was talking to you about her, and I'd read some things, I'd just never seen her play.
Yeah.
And so I tuned in to watch her, and I was thinking, Beth Whitney doesn't know what she's talking about because it's the first half. I forget who they're playing. It's the first half, and Caitlin could not hit anything.
Oh.
I think she went like 0 for 9
Yeah, just
from
kinda
the
had a cold.
3-point line. She had, I think, 4 points going into the second half.
Yeah.
She scored 30 the next half. She could not miss. I mean, she was shooting by
like
the paint.
6 or 8 feet past the three-point line.
in NBA or beyond NBA
Right,
land.
right.
And I just couldn't. I've never seen someone shoot, including Steph Curry. I've never seen someone shoot like her.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
amazing.
She's the real deal.
Well, and what
Yeah.
I appreciate is because of the rules changes, college athletes can now make money
Yeah.
off their name, image, and likeness. And so she and other female athletes that have made a name for themselves on the
Yeah.
court get to cash in on that off the court, too.
Because you were playing me a short of the South Carolina coach
Yes.
who won the national championship.
Her name's Dawn Staley.
Don Staley. And I heard the interview of her before that part you showed me,
Yeah.
where she was thanking Caitlin Clark for what she's done for women's basketball.
Well, get this. I think it was the game before the final. So the Final Four with Iowa.
Right. Okay.
That basketball game was the most watched hoops game on ESPN,
Is that including NBA?
including NBA, including
Wow.
NCAA, including any other basketball
And that's the
game.
one they won by 2, right? Is that
They
what I-
squeaked out, yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know people roll their eyes at women's sports, but...
They have. They have. They didn't this year, though.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
exciting and fun, and it's as a woman myself, as a mom of daughters, it is kind of fun to see these women get the recognition that they've earned.
Yeah.
So,
And women's basketball, because I was a basketball player, women's basketball is a different game than men's.
oh, totally.
And it's in the purest form basketball.
Right, because it's below the rim.
Below the rim,
You're not going to get
usually.
dunks or...
And there's a lot more passing. There's not as much showboating.
Right.
There's not as much, 1-on-5 kind
Yes.
of thing. And it's a much purer form of basketball that I think the men's have missed.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that game got more viewing than any other game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
good.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. Speaking of moms who have daughters.
Yes.
Yes.
We have a guest today.
Yeah, we do.
The one and only Taylor Clifton.
Hey, Taylor.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Yeah, you
Appreciate it
bet.
very much.
Glad to be
You
here.
are a basketball fan too. You and your husband Brian,
Oh.
you guys go to Kings games.
We love the Kings.
Yeah, yeah.
We liked the Kings
They're
when we
fun.
first moved here, which was over 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
And the Kings were terrible.
Oh, beyond terrible.
Beyond terrible. The Kings were
But
awful.
you guys loved them even
But we
then,
went.
right?
We went.
Yeah.
We ate some of the good food. We walked around the arena. We love live entertainment. Really, all live
Well,
entertainment.
and Golden One is a premier
great.
Oh, it's
place for
amazing.
that kind of event.
Yeah.
It's really a great
it's
place.
beautiful.
Yeah.
We just went to a show there this past weekend.
Oh, Nate Bargatze?
Nate Bargatze.
Yeah,
Yeah, real
Fun.
clean comic.
Yeah.
And yeah, he
He's
was great.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's your favorite current Sacramento King, even if he's hurt? I know some guys are hurt right
I
now.
think you know. You probably know.
Who is it?
I mean, right now. I mean, they're all wonderful.
Right.
Fox, of course, is the star.
Of course.
Yeah.
Domantas Sabonis
Yes.
is, of course, the star. But right now, the flavor of the Kings is coming from Malik Monk.
Yes, he's my
Off the
favorite.
bench.
Yeah.
Off the
You know,
bench.
a lot of people are saying that. He's hurt though, right?
Yes.
He's hurt. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hurt
yeah.
his knee or something.
Yeah, he's hurt. And then, of course, Kevin. I mean, they're all great. I'm a big fan. So I'm a fan of all of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to be a fan right now.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
And you guys got to light the beam one time, right?
Oh, we've lit the beam several times.
Oh, have
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's
For
pretty
those of
fun.
you who don't live in Sacramento or you're not Kings fans.
Or you live under a rock
Right.
because
Okay.
this is popular.
Is this an
very
Idaho
popular.
joke now?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh yeah, that's true. But after every win, there is a beam that is lit that's purple that goes. You can see it for miles. And
You
it's,
can see it in our backyard.
Oh, can you
actually,
really?
when it's
Can you
lit.
really?
It's really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
That's
kinda slick.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first year, the beam light was very faint.
Sure.
So they did some work. They put some money into it. And now I think you can see that thing from all over
so cool.
Sacramento.
So whoever thought of that,
Now give that person a raise,
probably
right?
some intern.
Yeah.
You know,
Probably.
Yeah, that thought about it.
So Taylor,
Yep.
you're not here to talk about the Kings.
No.
You're not here to talk about being the mom of two adorables who I love.
Mm-hmm.
But you're here because you are the executive director of Del Nordy Club, which is on the other end of the block of our church.
Yeah.
And Arcade Church actually owns Del Nordy Club. So Craig, why don't you talk to us a little bit about that part of it?
Back in 2006, this is before I was here. It's probably right about the time you started coming to
yeah.
Arcade. The vision was Del Norte came up for sale, and I had heard that the idea was to buy it and turn it into apartments or a parking lot or whatever, but to completely tear it down. That was what I heard anyway. And so the church was really wanting to bless the neighborhood, and it's a neighborhood club, at least it was. And so they really wanted to bless the neighborhood, so the church bought it. We bought it and paid it off actually during COVID.
Yes.
You may remember.
I remember
in
we
the,
burned
in the courtyard.
note or
yeah,
whatever.
we burned the
Yeah.
note and had it paid for, and so it has been a blessing in Arcade's ministry. But it's also been, until Taylor took it as leader, it's also kind of been, all right, it's like we have this new toy and we don't know how to use it. And your vision, since you've been executive director 2 years, 3 years, we are seeing more and more of a harvest and more purpose from a gospel-centered perspective. And very excited about what Taylor's doing down there.
Yeah, there's a flourishing
Yeah.
to Del Nordy
Yeah.
that wasn't there.
And I mean, even just a facelift.
Yeah.
I mean, it just looks like a great place. But
Yeah.
to talk about what Beth is not talking about, you're not even here to talk about Del Norte necessarily.
No.
We're here to talk about something that applies to everyone, even those who may not be members at Del Norte. And what's that?
Well, we want to talk about fitness and Jesus.
So
how those,
don't
So
turn
like,
us off.
wait, like CrossFit?
Yeah. Not quite. Not quite. You know,
Sorry.
that's a whole culture.
CrossFit,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Ben, you'll take that out,
Get
right?
it, get it.
Please. If you value your job.
That was my dad joke.
Your dad joke.
Oh, do you
Yeah.
fit one every time?
No,
Okay.
but I should maybe.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, talking about why does being fit matter? So yeah, we just wanted to talk about that today.
Well, I mean, I want to get into that. So, first of all, I just want to ask the question here in a second: is why should we care about being fit? Why should God care as Christians? Because isn't Christianity all about the soul? It's all about the spiritual. When we come to Christ, we don't say Jesus saved my body. We say Jesus saved my soul. Is that right to say?
But we're mind, body, and soul.
Yeah, we are these two parts, material, immaterial. And I think a lot of times we emphasize so much of the soul that those of us who are packing 30 extra pounds, we don't talk about the fact that he also died on the cross physically and rose physically to save us physically. And I think sometimes we forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why should we care about that? Other than that,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
fact
like
that
why
we're-
does it matter,
Yeah.
right?
Why does it matter? Yeah.
Well, I think if we go back to the beginning, the very beginning, God created us in his image, and that was a physical being that he created. And so I believe that it's important from day one that we were created as a physical being.
Yeah.
Now, what that looks like in his image, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it was Jesus. I'm not exactly sure.
Sure.
But I think that he tells us that our bodies matter from the beginning of time. You know, when I was studying for my personal training certification, the more that I learned about the body and the details of the body, the intelligent design of just the body itself
I bet, yeah.
is just incredible.
Yeah.
For instance, I'll take a really simple analogy, but you know, for low back pain, you would think, oh, I need to stretch my back or strengthen my back or, you know, do something with my back, but really it's the opposite. You need to strengthen your core.
Oh,
it's
wow.
your core
Okay.
that's weak.
Yeah.
Same thing with, you know, chest muscles and back muscles and how they all tie together, and they're just the intelligent design of the body from just a muscle standpoint is really incredible. And then God also created, and you talk about this a lot in your sermons, the senses.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we get to enjoy the taste of things and the feeling of
true,
things
yeah.
and the sight of things and the beauty. And the body, the physical being, we get to enjoy things like running and jumping and being physical with our bodies, holding your grandchildren, picking up your kids. All of that is physical enjoyment. And so I think that God tells us that it's important because we get pleasure from that.
Yeah.
That's good.
It sounds like, you know, just at the outset, and if you want to go deeper into this, we
Yeah.
can, but, you know, guys like me and people like guys like gals like you,
Gals.
when we're teaching, we're encouraging people, Christians, to read their Bible every day. We're encouraging them to pray every day. We're encouraging them to involve themselves in spiritual disciplines every day. And I have to confess to you two, I don't think I have ever preached a sermon about taking care of our bodies. I'm trying to think if I ever have. I'm not sure I ever have. And that's why it may be a strong temptation for you is if you are not into physical fitness to turn this puppy off because you can't handle the guilt. You can handle talking about reading your Bible every day if you don't, or praying every day. But, you know, I mean, if you're eating anything that ends in Eatos, then all of a sudden that's a problem. But I don't know, have you, in your teaching experience, have you ever led a devotional or taught a lesson on taking care of our physical bodies?
No, because we're
souls.
spiritual teachers,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
It's not my job to
Yeah.
teach you about, but then when we see we're a holistic person.
Yeah.
Right? I can't take my soul and separate. I mean, that's called death. But,
Yeah.
you know, I can't separate my body from my mind from my soul. And so if all those things work together, then I should be tending to the care of my mind, of my soul, of my body.
Taylor, when in your experience, first of all, as a trainer, but then also you've been involved at the executive position at Del Norte, and so you're over, you lead trainers and stuff. Have you noticed, and I probably know the answer to this question, but have you noticed that there's a direct connection between how someone feels spiritually and how they feel physically?
100% every time.
Yeah.
And I think when you are training someone, first the physical transformation starts to take place. And it's interesting because people will begin to just kind of unearth the things of their soul
Yeah.
along with
You became a
physical-
confidant probably as you're training
well
them.
but you know the sometimes the weight that people are carrying or any physical, you know, limitation is tied to their soul
Yeah.
and what's going on in their lives. It's very direct.
Yeah.
And you can see that.
Yeah. Well, and a couple of years ago, you took the biblical counseling class that we have here at Arcade Church, and that was before I think you took the job as executive director. Has that played a part at all in what you do in leading your staff, but also engaging with the members at all?
Yes, and no, because I'm not directly,
Right.
dealing with
Yeah.
them as they're going through their transformation.
Yeah.
But people are very aware that they're dealing with spiritual issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
When people are talking about the troubles that they've had, they're unearthing all of that very personal, vulnerable information
Mm-hmm.
while they are trying to change their life
Mm-hmm.
physically.
Yeah.
And it's very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to me that we live in an age where people are living longer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, 50, 60 years ago, I would be on my way out as a 65-year-old man.
Yeah.
And now people are living well into their 80s and 90s, and that's very common.
Yeah.
In fact, at Del Norte, it's very common to have 70, 80, 90-year-old people working there.
Working out there.
Working out there, yeah, thank you.
Not working there.
No.
No.
I mean,
Well,
hey, that'd be kind of cool,
Yeah.
right?
We do have an open position.
That's true.
If you want a job, check our website.
But it seems, though, that maybe this is a direct connection, is that people are more unhealthy than they ever have been as well. At this, even though we're living longer, that longevity is not a quality of living because of bad knees, because of diabetes, because of heart disease.
Yeah.
Pick your poison.
Yeah.
And a lot of those things are directly related to physical fitness, it seems like.
Yeah, I relate this to being a good steward of what we've been gifted. So God's gifted us this body that we get physical pleasure and enjoyment. And just like with anything else we've been given, whether that's finances or a family or whatever we've been gifted, every good and perfect gift comes from above, and we are to be good stewards of that.
Yeah.
And I think that the body that we've been given, we are called to be good stewards of that. There are sins of gluttony and laziness, and those things are called out. And we don't talk about those a lot.
We don't.
The church doesn't. And I think, there's reasons that we don't, but we have to be good stewards of the things we've been gifted, because as you've alluded to, age eventually that stuff is
catches
taken
up.
from us.
Yeah.
And I think if you want to be in ministry well into your 60s, 70s, we have to think down the road, how are we taking care of our bodies now?
Yeah.
Are our knees going to be giving out? Am I able to do the ministry I've been called to do in 10 years on the trajectory of my nutrition and my fitness?
Wow.
And
we
those
just
are
don't
important
think about that
questions.
stuff. But yet they're life-altering questions.
They are, absolutely.
So I, just to share a little bit about myself.
Well, you're a gym rat.
Well, I am now, but it was because
Okay.
I went and had a physical,
Oh, okay.
and my blood work showed I was pre-diabetic. And that's totally reversible.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Yeah.
reverse this.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I go to the gym, I work out, I watch what I eat. I've changed my lifestyle basically, because I'm like, I don't want to be on insulin. I don't want to die young. I want to see grandkids. You know what I mean? Like, there's life I want to live.
Yeah.
But then also this year at my checkup, my doctor's like, oh, you've been exercising. She's very happy with my progress. But she said, did you know there's a direct connection between having strong legs and longevity?
Oh, wow.
No. And she's like, well, think about it. You can keep moving. You can get up. You can get down. You can climb all of this. And I was like, okay, I'll keep going to the gym. Because it's easy to just be like, I don't want to get up, or I don't want to change, or you have the argument with yourself for all the reasons why you have 100 other things to do instead of going to the gym.
Well, and you know what, our Strong and Stable class, what they're working on the most?
What?
It's their legs.
Yeah.
They're literally standing up out of a chair to build their leg strength, because you're talking about mobility issues, quality of life.
So tell us about
talk
strong.
about
yeah.
who Strong and Stable is.
Yeah, Strong and Stable is our senior members, and they are working on basically having good quality of life at the age that they are, and they're standing up out of chairs, they're raising their hands up, they're stretching, and they're doing motions that are required for everyday life.
Right.
You need to get out of bed.
And that class is tripled, right?
Oh,
If
that
somebody-
class has more than tripled. We've
Okay.
had to put in so many classes
Yeah.
just for this group of people. I mean, the boomers are booming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boomers
My
are
people.
booming.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
They're booming.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you're talking about quality of life and being a good steward of the body that we've been gifted to do the things we want to do and want to enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Taylor, I mean, just so our listeners know, this is not a commercial to join Del Norte,
No.
although
No.
you'd be happy to have that.
Yeah.
What would be some wisdom, some godly biblical wisdom to give Joe Couch Potato, who really wants he wants this great relationship, or she wants this great relationship with Christ? That involves a physical well-being along with a spiritual well-being. It involves Bible reading, absolutely. It involves prayer,
Yeah.
but it also could involve eating a piece of broccoli every once in a while, or walking, or whatever.
Well, and how much better is all of the other stuff? How much better is reading the Bible and
Right.
and worshiping our Creator who created this body that is capable of so much?
Yeah.
That's
So good, yeah.
that has equipped us to do so many
Yeah.
things. When a couple things I want to say. First, I think the church doesn't really talk about
Yeah.
this as much because it's such a slippery slope into idolatry. Because when you think of the fitness industry, you think of, the influencers and the magazines and, a six-pack and all of these things that's not what we're talking about today. Sure, if you love to be in the gym and you want to be your most fit, go do that. If that brings you a little
More
bit of
power to you,
happiness,
right?
if that brings you a little bit of happiness, there's nothing wrong with that.
I like
things
tacos
that
too
make us
much.
happy.
Yeah.
Go be in the gym and enjoy that. But what we're talking about today is just taking care of the body that you've been given. When you walk outside, we get vitamin D from the sun. You go on a walk, there are chemicals and things happening in your body that, by the way, God created to work this way, that help us have happy emotions or happy moods, or we get to enjoy that because we're out in the sun taking a walk.
Yeah.
There are hormones like cortisol. That's the stress hormone for those of you that don't know. So the more stress you have in your life, the higher your cortisol, which is where some of the stubborn belly fat comes from, is from cortisol. But things that lower your cortisol are things like walking, things like taking a jog, riding a bike. And at Del Norte, we want you to come and just enjoy a game of pickleball or swimming in the pool. We're not saying be your most fit self. We're saying take care of the body that you've been gifted so that you can have the quality of life to do ministry and to love the Lord with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and then love your neighbor as yourself as well.
Yeah. And that's why it's so, I appreciate your approach on that, because you don't have to join a gym to be fit.
You don't.
We're there, and we want to help people with that. In fact, there's been some times in biblical counseling when a person will come in and they're just in despair, they're depressed, they're disappointed with life or whatever, and they are overweight.
Yeah.
And whenever we've done that, we've sent them down to Del Norte, and you guys are gracious to give them a scholarship, a temporary scholarship, to get on their feet. Sometimes you've donated the trainer to help them get a regimen down, because there's a right way and a wrong way. I know, because I hurt my elbow lifting weights improperly.
Yeah.
And so that's what I love about it. It's a full-orbed ministry at Del Norte that I appreciate. And the issue is physical wellness, not become a member.
Right.
And that's what's so powerful. I think that's where it can be gospel-centered when it comes to the physical aspects of life. Because the truth is, our souls will be resurrected, but so will our bodies.
Yeah.
And I love that thought, because so many times we just think our bodies are evil, they're dirty, they're bad. It's our soul that matters. And our soul does matter, but so does our body.
Well, yeah, because if our bodies didn't matter, I don't think Jesus would have come in bodily form.
To die
Yeah.
a physical death.
Right. He
Agreed.
came as a
Yeah.
baby and lived and grew and probably ran and jumped and played and used his senses, right, to enjoy all
Right.
these things. I mean, he made the best wine that anyone had ever tasted, and then he ate grilled fish and all these things. It seemed like every other page Jesus is eating
He's
with
eating,
somebody,
yeah.
right? He's having
Yeah.
a good time. But then, yes, he did suffer a physical death on our behalf. So if our bodies didn't matter, why would Jesus come in a body, right?
Well, and in the beginning, the discipline for us for the first sin was what? Physical.
Yeah.
Physical pain.
Yeah.
So I think the Lord alludes to so much importance in our physical bodies, and sometimes we just totally miss it.
Yeah.
All right. So if you had 10 minutes on the platform of Arcade Church to tell the congregation or the people listening, what are some things that we should do now as Christians, not just as human beings, but as Christians, to pursue and to acquire more of a physical, a spiritual and physical wholeness?
So my encouragement would be that people would have a mind shift from fitness is, I got to lose this last 10 to 15 pounds. I got to feel better. To fitness is a gift that I've been given to be able to see my Creator more clearly through the amazing body that I've been given, through the pleasure that I get through this body, and that you would be able to love people better because your body is better equipped to do so.
So really, the losing the 15 pounds of belly fat or to...
Forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it.
I mean,
That's a byproduct.
I guess that can be a goal, but that's not the desire. The main goal
Right.
is beyond that.
Right.
I like that. That is really good.
Yeah, and the book that we just read on prayer
Yeah.
is that everything we do is an act of worship. It's a holy life we live. And so, again, when the church, we don't talk much about being fit or working out because it's kind of this slippery slope into idolatry of the body or whatever. I lost my thought. Ben, you're going to have to give me a second. What was the question again?
Well, I'll add to that. I'll piggyback off of that. Probably the most because you've mentioned a couple different times, Taylor, about that we don't talk about this in the church because it's a slippery slope.
Yep.
I think the reason for that is probably, and you guys may disagree, and if you do, that's fine. You can be wrong, is probably the most unconfessed sin in most churches is gluttony. I mean, you think about the old potlucks that we all grew up with.
Oh, surrounded by
How high
food.
could you pile your plate, right?
And if it's not fried, there's no point in eating it, kind of thing. And I think it's very possible that the most unconfessed sin that because the Bible does talk significantly about gluttony and laziness.
Right.
So it's probably food and laziness that we suffer from. We don't want to talk about that.
It's an indulgence in comfort.
Yeah.
Take your pick, whether it's food, whether it's laziness, it's an indulgence in comfort.
Which is probably why fasting isn't a strong spiritual discipline in the
Right.
Western church either.
Yeah.
Because it's uncomfortable to fast.
Yeah.
right.
Really uncomfortable,
Yeah.
like especially more than 24 hours.
Yeah.
Which ties in, I mean, when you think about the body, and part of it is having a physical fitness to honor the Lord. Fasting is denying our bodies of something
right.
to honor the Lord or to recognize our need for Him or
Right.
to, specifically pray for something or whatever. So I think we do neglect our bodies.
Yeah.
We neglect this discipline of physical fitness, but then we neglect the fasting, which is a spiritual discipline that's connected. It's like a holistic spiritual discipline.
And I think at some point it is sinful. There is some sinfulness to pressing into the comfort because that leads to sickness and I believe cancer and obesity. And, if you just take that trajectory all the way down, you're in a bad place. So there is some consequence for the sin that's happening there when you're not taking care of your body.
Yeah. Can you speak into it a little bit? We've talked about kind of the exercise part of our physical well-being. What about the nutritional aspects of our physical well-being? Because that's probably the part. I'm pretty active, but I am not a disciplined eater.
You love a good Edo.
I like a good Edo, absolutely. And
We all do.
Yeah.
I think like anything else, it's balance of the indulgence. You can't be so indulged, and you have to focus on that. You have to be disciplined. You have to know that it's there, first of all. Every time I sit down, I want to indulge. I want to gorge. I want to, this is my escape or, the snacking. And you really have to take hold of that and make it a holy moment.
Yeah.
Make it a moment
That's
of
good.
Yeah.
I like that.
make it a moment of, Lord, I don't need this. I know that this is just an avenue for me to indulge
Yeah.
or feel like I deserve it after a hard day of work, but I'm going to let this go. So it's this little mini versions of fasting, I guess,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah.
Of not saying, oh, I need to fast for a week or 48 hours, but just I'm going to fast from every time I want to get up and get that second serving that I know my body doesn't need. I'm going to say a little prayer that, Lord, just help me get past this moment, because at some point there are addictions to food,
Yeah.
addictions to
Yes.
sugar. There is all of that too.
Yeah.
And we just don't talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
You know, people want to ignore it because it's comfort.
Well, I love the phrase "holy moment"
Yeah.
because, I mean, true confession time. There have been times Debbie and I are watching TV or whatever, and I'm not even thinking about. I'm going to get a bowl of chips. I'm not even thinking about it. I want
You're not
it.
hungry. You're
No,
not.
I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
I just want it.
It's a habit.
Yeah, I want it, and before I know it, I'm sitting down, eating a bowl of chips, and I'm happy. But then,
But then how awful do you feel? I mean, like the next morning, you're like, oh.
oh yeah,
shouldn't
I
have
mean,
eaten
oh
that.
absolutely, absolutely. I just, why did I do that? Because at the same time, I want the chips. I also want to be lighter, and there's a relationship between those two things.
Dang it.
Yeah, I know.
Why do the things that taste so good?
can't
How come
Pop-Tarts come in
broccoli
diet,
can't
you
taste
know?
better?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you slather it in butter and bacon. I don't know.
But you know, the funny thing is when you indulge so much, it loses its
Yeah.
sweetness.
Yeah,
And so even in the nutrition industry, people will say, if you kind of strip back everything that you strip back, the sugars and the over stimulating flavors, you strip all that back and you get your body used to like a neutral palate, then all of a sudden you start craving that. And then the indulgences, the things that are sweet, you have the sweet moment and then you're over it.
yeah.
But we've jumped into that indulgence just too much.
And so, what would some instruction be? Some surface instruction be to someone that really wants to set themselves on a path of nutrition and a better health, even physically with exercise? Because, you know, we could say, hey, well, you got to eat broccoli every meal, and you've got to run 20 miles every day.
Yeah.
It's like the person that wants
Yeah.
to grow spiritually. I'm going to read Leviticus.
Yeah.
I'm going to read Ezekiel. I'm going to
Yeah.
read 80 passages of
And
the Bible.
pray for an hour
And
every
pray for
day.
an hour every day.
It's not a great
And then on
goal.
day
you set
two, they give up.
Yeah, you set yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
And so what are some realistic starting points for people to have those holy moments, both physically and nutritionally?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some things people can do right off the bat. I think that if nutrition-wise, drink more water.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there are definitely some things that are viral right now. One of them is water's always been a thing. You need to drink a lot of water, more than you think. And people will say, oh, yeah, I drink a lot of water. You don't drink enough. You just don't. You
I know
really
I don't.
Nobody does.
So do you have a basic amount a day?
Is it like an ounce
Or does
per
it
pound
depend,
or
does it depend
something?
on age and size, body size?
No. It
More.
really
Drink
does depend.
more.
Yeah, more. Just a gallon. Just go for a gallon every day.
A
it's-
gallon of water?
Yeah, go for a gallon every day.
Beth, how
You
come you're
won't
not
get there.
getting all your work done?
You will have to go to the. You'll have to go to the bathroom a lot.
Well, I never
Go
get
to the
drowsy then.
But you need to drink lots of water. The thing that water does is satiates so many things that you're not even aware that your body needs.
Okay.
So a lot of times you'll think it's a hunger cue and you're really thirsty.
Oh,
So
okay.
one good thing is to just drink lots of water. Drink water before a meal. Drink water when you wake up in the morning. And then protein. And that right now you're going to hear all over everywhere. It's kind of running the fitness industry right now. But women especially don't get enough protein. It's easier for men. They eat a lot of meat, a lot of meat
Right.
and potatoes type of thing. But if you focus on water and protein and then take walks, 15-minute walks, you're gonna look and feel different.
You know, it's funny because during COVID, when we were shut down,
Yeah.
shelter in place, Debbie and I, we walked every day.
Yeah.
And it's probably the healthiest I've felt physically, just because we walked because we had
Nothing else to do.
nothing else to do, and so we walked. And it's funny because all of our neighbors were out too,
Yeah.
walking and stuff. It looked like Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's walking, and that was probably my weight was down manageable where it should have been. My knees felt better, all that stuff.
Well, and the thing about walking is that not only does it, burn whatever calories that you're burning, but your cortisol goes down.
Yeah.
So your stress hormones, so there's hormones in your body that are actually responding to a quick walk. So I think the trap that some of us can get into, athletes or maybe people who have worked out in the past that are in a season of life where they're not doing as much, is that we feel as though if we can't get out and do an hour to 90-minute workout, we're not going to do it.
I feel that way.
If you're not going to be able to hit the mark
Yeah.
that you want to hit in your mind, you're just not going to do
Yeah.
it. Well, let me tell you, if you're just sitting on the couch, then 15 minutes was better than that.
Yeah.
So, in today's world, we're all very busy. We do need to prioritize our health and our bodies and our minds and our souls. But we need to at least take a 15-minute walk if there's nothing else we can do in the day
Yeah. Yeah.
for our mental health and our physical health and our spiritual health.
Yeah.
Well, and something I've noticed for me is I don't argue with myself anymore. You know how you talk yourself out of, I'm really good at talking myself out of things. And no, I've decided these are the days I go to the gym. It's not like I have this conversation.
It's
I talk to myself.
predetermined.
Yeah.
It's already been decided.
Yeah.
I don't wake up at 5 and go, oh, should I go to the gym? Do I feel? No, I just stop arguing with yourself. Get up and go.
Yeah.
Get
It's
up and
that
go,
discipline.
get up
And
like,
how
if
often
you're
do
at
you
the-
regret it?
Never.
Never.
Never. And at the grocery store, think about what you're putting in your shopping cart. If it's not in your house, you can't eat it.
Yeah.
Right? If it's in the house, if there's chips in my house, they're going to be eaten. If there's whatever you're guilty, if there's caramel popcorn in the staff kitchen right now, and
There is? Okay, maybe we
shouldn't
need
have
to take a
told
break. A commercial break here.
you can have it after your 15-minute walk.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Exactly.
But like if you make decisions, you make a few little decisions that like compound on each other, and then you feel better,
Yeah.
and you're honoring God with your body, and you're having holy moments because the food you've decided to have in your house is food that is healthy, or healthier, or smaller portion, whatever the decision is.
Sure.
You know, you guys know Jaya Packer. He's with the Lord now, but he was talking about spiritual discipline, but I think it can apply to just what you were talking about, Beth. He says, in any discipline, there are two different kinds of pain. There is the pain of the discipline, getting up at 5 a.m., or the pain of regret. You really decide what pain you want to have.
Yeah.
Is it the pain of the discipline, which ultimately leads to joy?
Right.
Because probably the best time of the day for you a lot of times is leaving the gym.
Yeah, driving home from
After
the
a
gym,
good
for
workout.
Sure. Yeah.
Or it's a pain of regret that you rolled over at 5:30, and by 7:30 you feel guilty because now you don't have time to go.
Right.
And so it really is we decide what kind of pain we want to have.
Yeah.
Because either way, it's going to be painful.
Yeah.
And so I think that's good. Taylor, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
This is even better than I anticipated because I knew it was going to be good, but this is so beneficial for us. And the thing I'm going to take out is that holy moment. I love that because it really is not one big decision. It's thousands of mini ones
Absolutely.
that we have to make that really allow us to be more productive in the kingdom for the work of the gospel and things. So we just, I love what you do down there.
I have one more
great.
question.
Okay.
Oh,
Is there
okay.
anything that you are itching to say that you haven't gotten to say yet?
Well, I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we've hit a lot of the high points, a
Okay.
lot of the things that aren't talked about that I would love people to know and kind of chew on, when after they've listened to this. I hope that they chew on a mind shift from I've got to look a certain way or lose 10 pounds to this matters far beyond anything physical. It's physical, but it matters far beyond the
Okay,
physical.
Can I complain?
No.
Well, I'm going to complain.
Well, I'm leaving.
No. when I go down to Del Norte,
Yes.
and I think I would like to lift weights. I just
Yeah.
can't stand the mirrors. Why
Yeah.
why do gyms
Yeah.
have it seems vain.
So
to
you
stand
can
there.
see your form.
It
That's
is-
what I
I
do.
know- I
That's
know
what I
my
do.
form anyway.
So I know,
I know my form all too
like,
well.
are my not that far? Like, oh, this move, I'm supposed to keep my elbows straight and
Is that why
do
it's
this,
there?
or
Yeah. The
So it's
reason
not to
for
admire
mirrors
my-
is form.
your
I don't have a
guns,
six-pack,
suns
I have
out, guns
Well-
out.
It's not a six pack, it's more of a kegger kind of thing. So
I don't know. Some people view it probably as, again, that idolization of what the body can do, because it's pretty amazing what you can do to your body. You can sculpt it any way you want. Yes, but what it's for, the purpose is for
to
form,
check your form.
because of how important it is, which you alluded to with your elbow. People can really hurt themselves if they're not doing the right thing, which is why personal trainers are so important to consult when you're starting, or even far beyond your journey when your body changes. Pregnant women need certain form changes and modifications. Older people need certain form modifications and changes. So it's important to watch your form.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
I know.
I'll make sure and brush my teeth before I go.
So when are we all working out together?
Yeah, exactly.
Not with you two. There is no way. There is no way. You guys would leave me far behind. So.
That'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it?
It would be real fun.
Yeah.
It would be really fun.
Well.
Well, hey, Taylor, thank you so much for taking the time.
Love
This
it.
was really fun.
Yeah, it was great.
You're an amazing woman. Thank you for being a part of
We're
our
glad you're part of the team.
our church, our staff, just a good friend. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Well, we always close with beholding. So what do you have for us today, Craig?
Well, because I knew we were going to talk about this today. And so I'm thinking Galatians 5.
Okay.
And I'm going to stop after the fruit of the Spirit, but I want to read the part leading up to that.
Okay.
This is Galatians 5, verse 18. But if you are led by the Spirit, you're not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are evident, and the flesh can be spiritually and physical. But he lists off a bunch of things that are manifested in the physical body. Sexual immorality, impurity, sensuality, idolatry, sorcery, enmity, strife, jealousy, fits of anger, rivalries, dissensions, divisions, envy, drunkenness, orgies, and things like these. Those are all manifested in the physical aspect of this. And so Paul goes on, I warn you, as I warned you before, that those who do such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. Here's the behold part. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and what's the last fruit?
Self-control.
I think it's interesting that he's talking about the fruit of the Spirit, but he calls it self-control. And I think that is the wisdom of God. Is that part of walking by the Spirit is that he gives us the freedom and the ability to control ourselves. It's kind of what you were talking about when it comes to exercise, eating right, this kind of self-control that many times we just relegate to the spiritual. And I think you made the observation earlier on, Jesus came physically, felt physically, died physically, and rose physically, and so will all who believe in him. And he has given us, and the word you gave us earlier on in the show is, we're stewards. Do I wish I had a different body? Oh, yeah, probably sometime, but this is the one I got. And by God's grace, we can be able to use our bodies to display this incredible fruit of the Spirit that he's given us. He just gives us this stuff. He produces that stuff in us. And I love that.
Yeah. That's great. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. It's been a great, different episode, but really
Thanks,
great.
Taylor.
Yeah, you bet.
Be sure to subscribe, like, comment. Also, if you have questions, email us, behold@arcadechurch.com. We'd love to connect with you. Check out Norte Club. They're on social media. You can check out their website. It'll be in the show notes. Until next time, take care, and we'll see you around. Bye.